E-commerce brands like yours are making tens, hundreds, even millions of dollars with ads while you're still trying to figure out the ad game. And in this video, I want to share with you some common mistakes e-commerce brands face when they are running ads and exactly how to fix them. So without further ado, let's dive in. So on this simple document, I put together a couple problems that you might be facing within your e-commerce brand and exactly how to fix them. Very, very simple. Maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but I hope what I've accumulated here is useful. So without further ado, first problem is that you are not finding winning creatives and your ads are not performing at all. So basically you are just not running enough creatives. At the moment, you think that just a couple creatives will do the job. Now, I suppose every e-commerce brand that starts running ads knows the idea that they need to run a lot of ads in order to find winners. So this might not be something new for you, but some people might just run, let's say, 10 creatives a month and expect to scale to 10K, 100K, even more. And that's not possible. You can if those 10 creatives are winners, all of them bring in thousands of dollars worth of sales. But if there aren't winners, you can't expect them to actually take you to those huge numbers. So again, depending on your budget, I suggest testing anywhere from 10 to 20 creatives every single week, and those numbers scale for an even bigger budget. But 10 to 20 creatives is the bare minimum. And why is that? Because you want to find winners, and the formula that I have seen is that you kind of find one winner within 5 ads. So if you test, let's say, 10 creatives a week, you're gonna find at least 2 winners. That's from my experience what I have seen. And if you test 20, you'll find 4, and then you can double down on those creatives that are winning and invest more money into them because you know they're gonna bring you loads of sales. So what I want you to take away from the first problem is that you want to make more creatives, make that a focus. I know it could be a pain. You can delegate this. You can find creators that could film this, or you can find some sort of agency that could help you with this. If not, and you're not within that budget wise, you're gonna have to do this all by yourself. But otherwise, don't waste your budget because it's limited. So make sure that you use it wisely. Second problem is that your messaging is wrong. People just don't resonate with the ad creative and the message it sends. And the only advice I have here is to find out what ticks. And this is something you find by testing continuously. So look, when you start running ads, you don't know what performs, you know, how your audience responds to the message that you are sending. So make sure to find out what ticks with them. You know, test different angles, test different concepts, test different messages, stories, and so on. And then eventually you'll find something that ticks, and then you can kind of create a formula based on that and work your way around that. Problem 3, you are targeting the wrong audience. A lot of e-commerce brands go broad, and when in reality, it doesn't always work, in my opinion. And I always like to add some interests. And of course, Facebook's algorithm has learned to find buyers in a broad audience. But if you don't have a big enough budget, I still suggest you don't go broad, because exactly what happens when you go in a broad audience with a lower budget is, think of a huge circle, and that's everyone in the broad audience, millions of people, right? Tens of millions of people, depending on the country you're targeting, the audience you're targeting. If you have a low budget, let's say $50 a day, and you're targeting, let's say, 70 million people in that audience, you're a very, very small circle within that big circle. So with that budget, it's gonna take a long time until you find ideal customers and people that are actually gonna purchase from your business within that big audience. So kind of build your ICP within the ads manager. It becomes smaller as the audience becomes smaller, and you get to target in a way your ICP, and the ads manager, for example, Facebook, it will find the buyers within that smaller audience, and it will always work. So believe me, when you do this, it works. From my experience, I've always added interests, some sort of age gaps, you know, kind of built out the ICP and the ads manager, and it's always brought results. Now, once you gather data, you can create custom audiences based on the people that have purchased from your store, obviously, and then you can create lookalike audiences based on that. So basically what you're doing now is that you're creating the exact customer persona So people that have bought from your business, that have come from the ads, you're creating a lookalike audience based on that. So basically when you target ad, you're actually targeting the exact customer profile. So, you might have built the ICP, you might have done your research, but it might still be way off from what the actual customer looks like. So now that you've basically built this lookalike, it's going to be targeting the exact customer persona, and therefore you're going to actually see better results. The audience part is very interested in. I'm not against broad. By all means, test broad. Sometimes it works. From what I've seen, for me, it never really has worked. And if you want to test broad, it will most likely work at a very big budget. If you're looking at very low numbers, it most likely won't work. This next problem happens quite less, but it is for the people that are targeting very, very specific audiences, and that is ad fatigue. The ad you are running is being shown too many times to your audience, and that means you need to change the audience or the ad because people don't resonate with the ad. Now, the problem with ad fatigue is that the ad is shown too many times to the audience and that it can get very annoying, as I mentioned. So basically, your engagement and results will drop if this happens, and try to avoid this as much as possible because it ruins your ad. You're spending money and you're not getting results, neither engagement, and your ad is basically going nowhere. So what you can do is go for a bigger audience. Usually happens when you target very, very specific. So for example, if you're running local ads, you might see, you can see the ad frequency, meaning how many times the people see the ad. But ad fatigue also goes into the terms of like, the ad is not getting any engagement or results. Now, again, this goes two reasons. Either it's way too targeted and the people see the ad too many times because it's such a small audience and they get annoyed of it, or that's exactly the second problem, they get annoyed of it. So what you have to do is just change the ad completely, and again, figure something else out. Ad fatigue can happen on the second ad too. For example, it goes back to the first example where you have to test a lot of creatives. Just because one performs out of 5 doesn't mean the other 4 are horrible. It just means that one single ad creative out of the 5 is just much better. So just change the ad creative when this happens. Another problem I see people doing is not using your budget wisely, thinking that the money allocated to the ads will definitely bring a return. And it will if your ads are good, the funnels are streamlined and efficient, and you're sending the right message and so on. But don't sleep on your budget though. It's like going to the casino and throwing money because you think eventually you will win. It's easy to lose money if you're not ready, if you are making mistakes, if your ads are not good, and so on. So make sure to do your research, treat and use the budget you have wisely. Take the budget for granted because it's limited, so spread it accordingly to testing, best performing, and remarketing, and so on. Don't throw that money away because there's no point. As long like if you're running a test and you lose that money, you gathered data, you ran a test. Now you know that you can't do that again. So don't want to lose your budget because you think, oh, I'll just run my ads, I'll leave them 2 weeks, I won't look at them, and then they'll automatically print money for me. It's not like that. You have to constantly look at them, see what's performing, turn off ads, make new ads, run a new ad, and so on. So take your budget for granted because it's not going to be unlimited. Another problem is the place that you're sending the people, prospects, or ready to buy customers is horrible. Like the landing page is what I mean. There are two problems. Either it is genuinely horrible or it does not resonate with the ad, meaning it has a different story than what the ad showcases. So, which in this case will get you no results at all. So make sure your landing page is attractive and can hook people in, or make sure that the story in the ad creative is the same as the one on the landing page. You don't want to advertise a protein bar and take the person to some sports shoes. The ad will get no results. There is no connection in between the two of them. Obviously, like they're within the same niche. The sport, the protein bar helps you. You can do the shoes as an upsell, or you can advertise the shoes and then upsell the protein bar. But if you advertise a protein bar and you take people to sports shoes, it's not going to work. People go click off the ad and they expect to be taken to the landing page of the protein bar, not the sports shoes. Therefore, they're not going to wait another second. They're just going to drop off and then that's it. You're losing money by doing this. Don't do that. Make sure that you are setting people to the right direction. Now, the last problem is that your offer is shit. And that can basically be another problem. You need to test and see what people tend to resonate with. Now, you have to take advantage of seasonal offers such as Christmas, Easter, Halloween, etc. Do flash sales. You won't believe it, but you these actually perform really, really well, and it gives a person a reason to buy. Another offer is to sign up to the email, get 15% off, 10% off of your first order. Test these always. They will always outperform ads that don't include an offer. People love seeing discounted products, they think they are getting a deal. Now, the main reason I'm saying this is because when you put an offer on your ad creative, it gives an incentive to the person to click off and come by. They think they're getting a deal, especially if you're targeting the right audience, because otherwise, if you're targeting the wrong audience, they won't care even if it's discounted. It doesn't apply for them because they won't buy your product. But if it's the right audience and they're looking to buy your product, an offer will make them even more ready to buy the product. It will make them even more want to do it. So if you know what I mean. But the offers are really good. So if you're, when I say offers are shit, is either people don't tend to resonate with your offer or you're just not running offers at all. But you have to run them continuously. Like I'm saying, test two different ads, one that is normal without an offer and one that is with an offer. Like you can raise your product prices by not a lot and then apply the discount, and the discount goes back to the normal price. And basically you're making the same profit in a way because you've calculated this, but you're going to get higher conversion rates because people think they're getting a deal. So yeah. Now, these are some problems that a lot of brands face when running ads that lose the money. Of course, there are tens of hundreds, I don't know how many other problems when you're running ads that you could face. But, you know, most of them are not losing you money. For example, pixel stuff, like the pixel is not losing you money, is just not tracking correctly. So that's another problem that you can fix. But this one specifically that are losing you money and exactly how to fix them so that you're not leaking money. So exactly, this video is specifically to solve the problems that leak money out of your brand. Now, when you do everything I mentioned above and you test continuously, it will help you get consistent results over 4x ROAS at least, like we did for this brand here. Now, this is a screenshot from Looker Studio. You can do the conversion here. This is the currency. This is around almost 2,000. It's over $2,000, I'm pretty sure. And this is around $9,000. It's just around 2,700 or something like that. And this is 9,000 almost. So when you do this and you don't have a lot of money leaking through, you'll see really good results. But yeah, now if you would like to see results like this, then schedule a time to chat using the first link in the description where I'll answer any questions that you have and discuss any problems that you're facing right now with your brand that we can fix them. And yeah, I'm excited to chat and I'll speak to you soon.